On the news tonight, Governor Sheriff Obrewori pledges readiness to partner with relevant stakeholders in road construction. State government wants contractors handling ongoing road projects in Ndokwa West local government to speed up work. Federal government confirms arrival of new HIV prevention injection. Good evening and welcome to Delta Television Main News tonight. I am Pauline Okolie. You can also follow our news online on Facebook and YouTube at Delta Broadcasting Service Asaba, or visit our website at www.dbsasaba.com. The state government, the Niger Delta Development Commission and Chevron Nigeria Limited have moved to strengthen collaboration for the construction of the proposed Omadino-Okorenkoko Escravos Road and bridges in Delta State. The project, which spans about 70 kilometers with 29 bridges, is expected to improve connectivity across riverine communities and stimulate economic activities in the Niger Delta. Ejimu Duweme reports.
Governor Obrewori commended the Managing Director of the NDDC, Dr. Sam Ogbuku, for the progress recorded under his leadership and reaffirmed Delta State's commitment to ensuring that the project becomes a reality. The governor noted that the Omadino-Okorenkoko Escravos Road is critical to the development of riverine communities and will open up the area for increased economic activities. He, however, stressed that the state government would only support the project if it was awarded to a reputable construction company capable of delivering it. State would set up a technical team to work with the NDDC and Chevron to review the project design, determine the current cost, and outline the contributions expected from each stakeholder. The team, he added, will also address issues such as right-of-way, possible realignment of sections of the road, and other technical considerations necessary for the successful execution of the project.
I want to assure you that we are ready to partner on one condition, that the project will be given to a reputable company. We want a company that will not disappoint us. And if we are making any contribution, we are sure what's on the table. The contribution from Chevron, what is the value of the contribution from Chevron?
Earlier questions regarding the project.
Delta State government is also on board this project. So for all of us to be committed to this project, we believe that once all these other technical issues are sorted out, definitely the project will kick off.
Speaking on behalf of Chevron Nigeria Limited, Dr. Segun Kuteyin expressed the company's readiness to partner with the NDDC and the Delta State government to deliver the project.
Excellency, sir, Chevron is committed to continuing to build strong relationships with stakeholders in order to foster economic development. And therefore, Chevron supports infrastructural development initiatives in communities around its area of operations.
The stakeholders agreed to establish a joint technical committee that will determine the final cost of the project, review the design to reflect current realities, and outline the contributions of all participating parties before the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, for the commencement of the projects. Ejime Uduime reporting.
The state government has warned contractors handling ongoing road projects in Ndokwa West local government area to speed up work and maintain quality standards for risk contract revocation. The State Commissioner for Works, Roads and Public Information, Mr. Charles Saniago, gave the warning while inspecting several road projects in the area. Ejimu Duweme reports.
The commissioner disclosed that 4 projects were inspected during the visit. They include the Etwa Ukbo, Etwa Etiti, Etwa Oliogo Road with a spur to Etwa Etiti, the Otagbono Ndemili Road Phase 1, the Eweshi Otagbono Road, and the Enam Abe Access Road. He commended the contractor handling the Etwa Road project for the pace and quality of work, noting that significant progress had been recorded within a short period. The commissioner expressed dissatisfaction with the pace of work on some other projects, particularly the Otagbono Ndemili Road Phase 1, which was expected to have been completed in October 2025. Mr. Aniago also criticized the slow progress recorded on the Eweshi Otagbono Road, valued at about 5.04 billion naira, which was scheduled for completion in March 2026.
We are not impressed with the speed of work because we are supposed to have commissioned that. We are supposed to have completed that project as at October 2025, and so in which case they are lagging behind time. And I have also directed that between now and the next 1 month, or 1.5 months, they must deliver that project. And good enough, we don't expect any one of them who is supposed to have completed their project to come back and begin to tell us that there is one war in Iran, because they are supposed to have finished. So if any change in price is hitting them, that is not our business.
Speaking during the inspection, Honorable Chasi Metulu thanked Governor Sheriff Oborewori for approving numerous infrastructure projects in their constituency. He noted that the projects would directly impact the lives of the people by improving access to communities and facilitating the movement of agricultural produce to markets. He appealed to contractors to speed up work so that communities can begin to benefit from the projects.
Our people are in very serious hurry to use these roads. This community, for instance, had thought that by February, when we had the community feast, that they would enjoy a bit of this road. But there's a bit of delay, and I'm sure with assurances given by the contractor and the firmness of the Ministry of Rural.
Mr. Niago also inspected the 4.8 kilometers Emevo Orogu Road Phase 2 in Isoko North Local Government Area and the construction of the 7.4 kilometers Amai Aragba Road in Okwani Local Government Area. The commissioner and his team will later conduct round reporting.
The state deputy governor, Semonde Onyeme, has reaffirmed the state government's commitment to partnering the federal government to strengthen medical education and healthcare delivery in the state. Onyeme stated this when he received a delegation from the Federal Ministry of Health on a fact-finding visit to Central Hospital Kwale ahead of plans to convert the facility into a teaching hospital for the Federal University of Health and Medical Sciences, Kwale. Pere Botu reports.
Receiving the delegation, Sir Monde Oyeme thanked the Minister of Health for approving the visit and reaffirmed the state government's readiness to collaborate with the federal government in the development of the medical university. He noted that the establishment of the university in Kwale was significant for the community and pledged support for the upgrade of the hospital.
Delta State government has ever been willing to work with the federal government to ensure that that university come to be, and we are very, very willing to know. It might interest you that myself talking to you, that is my local government.
Earlier, the Director of Hospital Services, who led the delegation, Dr. Abisola Adegoke, commended the state government for donating the hospital to the federal government, describing it as a major step towards strengthening medical education and healthcare delivery in the region. She said the team's mission was to assess available equipment and manpower and submit a report that would guide the signing of a memorandum of understanding and the eventual handover of the hospital to the federal government.
We are here to assess what is on ground in terms of infrastructure, equipment, and we also want to see the personnel.
The delegation visited the Central Hospital Kwale and was conducted around the facilities and infrastructures of the hospital by the Chief Medical Director, Dr. Patrick Ofili, and the university's temporary campus. At the Palace of the Odosa of Otagbogbe, Nze Isaac Obi, Dr. Adegoke thanked the monarch and the community for supporting the establishment of a teaching hospital, noting that the facility would enhance medical training, improve healthcare services, and create employment opportunities.
Beyond the training, the community stands to benefit a lot of things from this venture. Because one, the people will be able to access healthcare.
President General of Otagbogbe Community, Chief Ifeanyi Edeme, and former member of the House of Representatives for the Ndokwa Ukwane Federal Constituency, the Right Honorable Osai Nicholas Osai, expressed appreciation to President Bola Tinubu and Governor Sheriff Uboruwori for the establishment of the university and supporting the plan to upgrade it to a teaching hospital, while pledging to give and confirmed that the hospital had been formally ceded to the federal government.
I want to thank you for what the government is doing, and also thank you again for all the future, infrastructure that you have also communicated to the Federal Ministry of Health that the state government is ready to do.
Members of the delegation included Dr. Okpikpi Okbako, Director of Teaching Hospitals, Dr. Ahmed Saidu, Dr. Okara Dogara, Dr. Paul Kwetishe, and Dr. Olufemi Adebayo. I am Pere Botu reporting.
The Delta State Public Health and Hygiene Bill has killed second reading on the floor of the State House of Assembly, with lawmakers describing the proposed legislation as timely and necessary for improving public health standards across the state. Favor Okafor reports.
Leading debate on the bill, the leader of the House and lead sponsor, Honorable Emeka Nwobi, explained that the proposed law seeks to repeal the Public Health Law of 1957 and replace it with a more comprehensive framework that reflects present realities. He said the bill is designed to strengthen the prevention and control of communicable diseases, regulate the disposal of human waste, prohibit food and produce adulteration, and curb open urination and defecation in public places, while other lawmakers noted that the legislation would help promote a healthier and more sanitary environment for residents of Delta State. Following deliberations, the Speaker, the Right Honorable Emomotimi Gore, referred the bill to the House Committee on Health for further legislative scrutiny and directed the committee to report back on April 1.
To prevent and control the incidences of spread of communicable diseases in Delta State, to promote good hygienic practices and human dignity, to regulate the disposal of refuse and human waste in Delta State inter alia. I want to believe that with this law, hygiene and sanitation becomes a daily activity, it becomes second nature to every Delta.
Health is not merely a medical concern. It is a fundamental pillar of governance and also society development. And this is because a healthy economy is the foundation of a thriving or productive economy. A healthy population leads to a thriving economy or a productive economy. Mr. Speaker, we have a duty as a House to enact laws that safeguard the health, environment, and dignity of our people. And this is why the repeal of this law is long overdue.
The House also scrutinized the Delta State Internal Revenue Service Consolidated Bill from Clause 1 to 70. Upon resumption of plenary following the motion moved by the Leader of the House, Honorable Emeka Nwobi, the Speaker adjourned further consideration of the bill to the next legislative sitting. Earlier, the Speaker had welcomed members of the Anambra State House of Assembly, led by their Speaker, the Right Honorable Somtochukwu Udeze, who were at the Assembly complex to observe plenary proceedings, noting that collaboration among state legislatures helps strengthen democratic governance and promote best legislative practices.
Your visit today, therefore, goes beyond a routine legislative observation. It is a demonstration of the spirit of interparliamentary cooperation and mutual learning that strengthen democratic institutions.
Favor Okafor reporting.
And to the news on Senator Remi Tinubu. The First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has donated 10,000 disposable sanitary pads to schoolgirls in Delta State under the program tagged Flow with Confidence, aimed at promoting menstrual hygiene and ensuring that no girl misses school due to lack of sanitary materials. The event held at the Dome Event Center, Asaba, was part of the Renewed Hope initiative. Represented by the wife of the Delta State Governor, Dickiness Tobore Oberewori, Senator Tinubu said the initiative themed Empowering Schoolgirls Through Menstrual Hygiene was designed to improve access to menstrual hygiene products and provide proper education for young girls. Senator Tinubu explained that 10,000 sanitary pads have been distributed in each of the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. Governor Sheriff Oberewori, represented by the Commissioner for Health, Dr. Joseph Onojeme, described the initiative as timely, noting that it would boost the confidence of young girls, particularly those in rural communities, while commending the Renewed Hope initiative for its commitment to the well-being and empowerment of the girl child. The wife of the state governor, Dickiness Tobore Oberewori, has reaffirmed the commitment of her You Matter Charity Foundation to supporting the educational welfare of children with autism and other special needs across the state. Dickiness Oberewori reiterated this while flagging off the distribution of teaching and learning materials to schools across the state, said the initiative reflected a collective resolve to build a state where every child, regardless of background or condition, had equal opportunities to succeed. Florence Oyibodoro reports.
Commissioned these building materials, the name that's above every other name, the name of God the Father, the name of God the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
Dickiness Oberewori commended the Universal Basic Education Commission, SUBEC, for its commitment to strengthening the educational system, while lauding the State Universal Basic Education Board, SUBEB, under the leadership of Honorable Samuel Marere, for facilitating the initiative. The governor's wife enjoined the facilitators to ensure the materials reached the intended beneficiaries, calling on pupils to make good use of the items received to enhance their learning and character development.
And foresight in bringing this noble initiative to fruition. The distribution of these instructional materials will significantly enhance the learning experience of thousands of children across the length and breadth of our state. I am reliably informed that textbooks and notebooks have been provided in large quantities, alongside farm tools, sports equipment, and assistive devices, all to be presented for onward distribution to schools across the state. This holistic approach reflects a deep understanding of education as not just classroom learning, but total child development.
The chairman of the Delta Sub Administration's commitment to enhancing access to quality education.
Immediately, to take shares to all those schools. Today, there is no child in Delta State learning that is sitting on the ground. We are taking shares to all those schools that they used to place social media.
The event featured the distribution of textbooks, notebooks, farm tools, sports equipment, and assistive devices to schools, cash donations to selected schools, as well as presentation of an award to the governor's wife in recognition of her humanitarian efforts. Florence Oyibodoro reporting.
The wife of Delta State Governor and founder of the Umatu Charity Foundation, Tobore Obrewori, has called on the newly elected leadership of the Women's Wing of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in the state to work closely with the party and support the policies of the present administration. Dickiness Obrewori made a call while receiving the APC state women leader, Ifeyinwa Sobotie, and her delegation during a courtesy visit to Government House, Asaba. Florence Oyibodoro reports.
Dickiness Tobore Oborewori congratulated Mrs. Sobotie on her emergence and expressed appreciation to party leaders, including the Governor, Right Honorable Sheriff Oborewori, for their confidence in the leadership of the Women's Wing. The governor's wife urged the new leadership to align with the administration's more agenda in order to bring the dividends of democracy closer to women across the state. She also highlighted the activities of her pet project, the Umatu Charity Foundation, which focused on providing health care, education, and support for women and children, especially those living with autism.
This will enable you to bring the dividends of democracy closer to the women of our dear state. I have no doubt you will make us proud. God be the glory. I would like to appeal to you to work closely with the leadership of the party and align with the objectives of the present administration. Please, is an appeal. You are just coming in, learn and do the needful.
Earlier in her remarks, APC Delta State woman leader, Mrs. Ifeyinwa Sobotie, pledged the readiness of the women's leadership to work with the governor's wife to advance the aspiration of the Oborewori administration, noting that the delegation included women leaders from Delta South, Delta Central, and Delta North senatorial districts.
We would like to assure you that the women executives are very ready to work with you, and we will relent in our capacity to ensure that the divine mandates of our dear governor for more agenda, for a more sustainable development, come to pass.
Florence Oyibodoro reporting.
Delta Ijaw women in politics have been urged to give priority attention to their families in order to promote a peaceful society. The wife of the state governor, Dickiness Tobore Obrewori, gave the charge while receiving members of the group at Government House, Asaba. Florence Oyibodoro reports.
Dickiness Tobore Oborewori commended Ijaw women for their active participation in politics and governance, describing women as key drivers of community development and societal progress. The governor's wife also highlighted the activities of her pet project, the Umatu Charity Foundation, through various support programs. She urged the women to continue promoting peace and unity by supporting the Oborewori administration and its more agenda.
As women, we possess a unique strength. The strength to nurture, to build bridges, to advocate, and to lead with empathy and wisdom. When women step into political spaces, they do not represent only themselves, They represent families, communities, and future generations. Your involvement in politics is therefore not merely about ambition, it's about service, impact, legacy.
Leader of the delegation, Honorable Patricia Asia, said the visit was to pledge the group's support for the Oborevwori administration, particularly at the grassroots.
If our governor can do this in Delta State, we pray he goes national, because if he's there, Delta State will turn to London. We will not run to London, we will not run to India. They will run to us because we have a good leader. The Bible says when you have a good leader, it said the people rejoice, and we are all rejoicing.
Florence Oibodoro reporting.
Women have been charged to support one another through generosity and partnership in order to advance the rights and opportunities of women. The Commissioner for Women Affairs, Community and Social Development, Honorable Pat Ajidwa, gave the charge in an interview after appearing on DB.
The Commissioner for Women Affairs, Honorable Pat Ajidwa, who highlighted on the theme of this year's International Women's Day celebration, Right, Justice, Action, underscores the need to protect the rights of women and girls. She called on government at all levels to ensure access to justice for women and take practical steps to address inequality and discrimination.
Women need justice because women have been marginalized for long, and so now it is time for action. Luckily, at the national level, the VAP law has been signed into law, and then in Delta State the same thing has happened, and justice is needed and must be gotten, and then now it is time for action, and the action is action for women and girls.
Honorable Ajidwa highlighted the important role of women in leadership, sustainable development, and the ongoing global effort to achieve gender equality.
Allow women to have their rights. Let justice be done. And then action. When a woman moves in action, the whole family moves in action. You train a woman, you're training the family, you're training the nation.
On women participation in politics, she advised women to participate actively for their voices to be heard, adding that women should support one another for the growth of the society. Bridget Agitu reporting.
About 10,000 widows under the Delta State Widows Welfare Scheme have received their February 2026 monthly stipends from the Delta State government as beneficiaries across the 3 senatorial districts. Coordinator of Delta State Widows Welfare Scheme and Executive Assistant to the Governor on Social Investment Programs, Elda Isioma Okonta, led members of the scheme's management team on a tour of the senatorial districts for special prayer session to appreciate the governor's continued support for vulnerable widows in the state. Speaking during the visit to Delta Central Senatorial District in Okbe, local government area, Elder Okonta said the initiative had continued to alleviate the suffering of many vulnerable widows across the state. He explained that the program aligned with Governor Oborevwori's MOA agenda, which prioritizes social welfare and inclusive development. Beneficiaries expressed appreciation for the governor's support and offered prayers for his continued success, while similar Thanksgiving sessions were also held in Ozoro, in Isoko South local government area, and in Ndokwa West local government area, Delta North Senatorial District. You're watching Delta Television Main News. Still to come, federal government confirms arrival of new HIV prevention injection. Please stay with us. We'll be back.
Community, try as much as possible to guide your utterances. No company can be intimidated. The companies are also urged to keep to their social responsibility, the corporate social responsibility. I always say it, keep to it. If you keep to the corporate social responsibility, no host community will hold you ransom.
Welcome back. You're watching Delta Television Main News at 8. The federal government has confirmed the arrival of a new HIV prevention injection known as lenacapavir. National Coordinator of the National HIV, Viral Hepatitis and Sexual Transmitted Diseases Control Program at the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Adebola Bashorun, in a statement, said the development reflected Nigeria's commitment to adopting innovative and evidence-based strategies to control the spread of HIV. Dr. Bashorun explained that the program, in collaboration with partners and stakeholders, would ensure the safe introduction and effective integration of the injection into the country's HIV prevention services. He noted that the rollout is expected to expand access to prevention options and strengthen ongoing efforts to reduce new infections across the country. Lenacapavir is a long-acting injectable drug administered twice a year, providing a more convenient alternative to daily oral preventive medications. The drug is expected to be available in Nigeria and about 119 other low and middle-income countries at about $40 per person annually, with support from the Global Fund to strengthen HIV prevention efforts. The chairman of the Conference of Speakers of State Legislatures in Nigeria and Speaker of the State House of Assembly, the Right Honorable Emomotimi Guo, has reaffirmed his commitment to strengthening interstate legislative cooperation to improve governance and enhance quality representation across the country. Right Honorable Guo made the affirmation when he received members of the Anambra State House of Assembly in Asaba for a 3-day legislative retreat aimed at deepening knowledge sharing and institutional collaboration. Welcoming the visiting lawmakers, the Speaker said interactions among state legislatures remained vital in promoting best legislative practices, strengthening democratic institutions, and ensuring effective representation of constituents, noting that Delta and Anambra states share strong historical, social, and economic ties that continue to foster cooperation between the two states. Right Honorable Guo, accompanied by principal officers and members of the State Assembly, assured the delegation of sustained collaboration with other state legislatures across the country and invited them to observe the Assembly's plenary session as part of activities lined up for their visit. In his remarks, he appreciated the state's government, the State Assembly, for its hospitality, noting that the retreat would feature sessions on legislative procedures, governance strategies, and peer learning to strengthen effective lawmaking and oversight. Some residents have welcomed the federal government's approval to deploy nurses and doctors to correctional centers across the country to improve health care for inmates. Eunice Emeazia spoke with some residents in Asaba, the state capital.
Our resident said many inmates suffer from untreated illnesses. Hence, having medical personnel in the facilities is a step in the right direction.
Some nurses at correctional center, I think it's a welcome development because a lot of our inmates there need
a level of medical attention. And that move alone, I think, is encouraging.
Because you go see mosquito wey dey that place, even small and wey dey affect them well. If your patient dey there, you go see am, you go pity am sef. That place no be better place where person go stay. Reach even one day sef.
Another respondent believes proper healthcare in correctional centers will also help prevent the spread of diseases to the wider community when inmates are released.
Yeah, it's going to actually help the prisoners a long way because their health is something that should be considered. So employing nurses and doctors to work there is really a beautiful thing. At least they should be checkmated because sometimes people even die of maybe because of impending ailments that we don't know about. So if there are doctors there to do routine checkups and tests and all that, it's really nice.
Some, however, said the government must ensure the policy is properly implemented, noting that many public institutions suffer from inadequate staffing and poor funding.
Is applaudable, but I think the federal government should also look at subsidizing the price of fuel currently and also do something about power supply because we are suffocating.
They urged authorities to provide enough medical workers and equipment to make the initiative effective. Eunice Emeyazia reporting.
Pupils of Almondville Academy, Asaba, have embarked on an educational excursion to Delta Broadcasting Service, DBS Asaba, as part of efforts to broaden their practical knowledge of broadcasting. Gloria Otolo reports.
The pupils were taken on a guided tour of key operational units of the station, including the master control room, television studio, radio studio, and the newsroom. They were educated on the functions of different departments and exposed to the processes involved in radio and television program production, as well as live broadcast transmission. The pupils also had the opportunity to observe how broadcast equipment is operated and how programs are coordinated before going on air. The teacher of the school, Ms. Vivian Wankwo, expressed appreciation to the management and staff of DBS Asaba for the warm reception and detailed briefing given to the pupils. She noted that the excursion will greatly complement what the students are taught in the classroom and help broaden their understanding of the broadcast profession.
We believe that learning should not just end in the classroom or the four walls of the school. So we needed them to see how some of this information are being processed and, put out in the air, and we chose this place. And we are really excited because we're more than satisfied, yes.
Some of the pupils described the visit as educational, inspiring, and memorable, saying it had given them a better understanding of how radio and television stations operate.
I advise other kids to come here and experience this adventure with me.
I want other kids to come and enjoy this free opportunity.
They also thanked the management of DBS Asaba for the opportunity to learn firsthand about broadcast industry. Gloria Otolo reporting.
In sports, coach of the female national basketball team, Rena Wakama, has revealed that honesty and trust within the team has been the elixir to the female national basketball team's consistency in recent years. The American-born Nigerian said she had been honest with the Tigress players, and this had bred trust within the team, which had invariably helped in the players also being honest among themselves. Wakama said that the Tigress remains Africa's dominant female basketball team, as they have won the AfroBasket champion 5 times in the recent past, stressing that the team was currently participating in the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup qualifying tournament in France. The Tigress had begun its quest for a play at the World Cup in strong fashion after out-dunking world number 6 Colombia 79-36 in the opening game. Now, our thoughts for the day. Success is built on hard work and determination. Highlights. The state government, the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, and Chevron Nigeria Limited have moved to strengthen collaboration for the construction of the proposed Omadino Okerenkoko Escravers Road and bridges in Delta State. The project, which spans about 70 kilometers with 29 bridges, is expected to improve connectivity across riverine communities and stimulate economic activities in the Niger Delta. The state government has warned contractors handling ongoing road projects in Ndokwa West local government area to speed up work and maintain quality standards or risk contract revocation. The State Commissioner for Works, Rural Roads and Public Information, Mr. Charles Aniago, gave the warning while inspecting several road projects in the area. And the federal government has confirmed the arrival of a new HIV prevention injection known as lenacapavir, National Coordinator of the National HIV, Viral Hepatitis and Sexually Transmitted Diseases Control Program at the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare. And that's our news. You can also follow our news online on Facebook and YouTube at Data Broadcasting Service Asaba, or visit our website at www.dbsasaba.com. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Pauline Okuli. Good night.